Hey guys, and welcome back to the Natural Learning Python course. Today, let's talk about a very important concept called recursion. So what is recursion? It's basically calling a function inside of itself. Now it is slightly confusing, but it makes functions easier. Now here are some elements of a recursive function. So we have the base case. This is to stop the function from just infinitely going on and on. It's kind of like in a while loop how you need the counter to keep going up or down so that way you don't get an infinite loop. And we tend to return something, normally 0 or 1, but it really does depend. Then we have the recursive part. Now, this keeps running the same function with something like n-1, or the list without an item, or half the list. Something like that. And it'll keep running itself until we meet that base case. Now, here's some examples. We have a program that finds a factorial of something, the sum of a list, some famous sorting algorithms like merge sort or quicksort, and a very famous computer science problem known as Towers of Hanoi. You should Google it and try that yourself. Now, let's see this in Python. So as you can see, I'm in a file called recursion.py, and we have a very normal factorial here. As you can see, I've highlighted it. We have defining factorial. Then we set this fact counter to 1, and we say a simple range loop starting at 2 because 1 just makes the program less efficient. And then we say that the fact is equal to the fact times itself, and then we return that factorial counter. And if we were to do this right now, then we would run it and we'd get 720. Now, let's think. This is our fact recursion function right here. And I should probably now print it. So, what are we doing in this? We have this right here, which I said is the base case. And this is saying that if n is less than or equal to 1, so if you give like 0 or 1 for the input, then we'll return 1. Else, though, we're going to return n times that fact recursion function of itself with the n-1. So that means that, let's say we started with something like 4. Then we'd start with 4. We'd see, is 4 less than or equal to 1? No. So then we'd go to the else. We'd return 4 times fact recursion of n-1, in this case 3. 3 is not less than or equal to 1, so we go down. And once we hit 1, what we do is we return 1. But then we have to go back. So when we hit 2 times fact recursion of 1, that gives us 2. Then we have to go back again with 3. Now 2 times 3 is 6. Then 3. Then 6 times 4 is 24. And therefore we get the factorial. Now let's try printing it. You can see we also get 720. So basically this is just a different way to do a factorial. It's just a little bit more advanced, kind of. But you can see that this can make a lot of things a lot easier in future life. I hope you learned something, and as always, this was Nitro Learn.